And we are back with another episode of the Hockey Princess podcast. I am your host, the Hockey Princess. Guys, we have Eva once again talking
I'm back.
Indy. Welcome back.
Thank you so much. This has been so exciting. I know I talked to you this beforehand, but I've literally chatted with you my entire duration that I've been with the Fuel. So
Mhm.
it's like so bittersweet that it's my senior year and it's like, oh, like it's almost like full circle and it's like it's just so fun. I
This
love
is
it.
a part of your back to school at the beginning of the fall semester, is
It
having
is.
to talk
Like
to
now
us.
I feel like it's time for the season to start because I've chatted with you.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. Eva, what have you been up to this whole year?
A lot of things.
Or the highlights? What are
So
your
many.
highlights?
So in addition to the Fuel, we have an indoor football team called the
Yes.
Fisher's Freight. And so I was their sideline reporter. And so where this fire intro happens, I was basically like standing right there the entirety of the freight game. So I was basically on the field. And when I tell you that was like the most chaotic but fun time I've ever had in my entire life, like, I know that hockey players chirp, but, like, football players were literally, like, standing on the benches, like, yelling at each other, and then I'm just, like, sitting there eating my popcorn with my microphone, like, "Can we, like, calm it down a little bit?" So that was, like, really fun and exciting. Obviously, we didn't make the playoffs, but, like, we have a very strong foundation. Like, you can't I mean, unless you're who shall not be named, I can't say the Knights. Unless you're the Knights and you somehow are miraculously very good in your first couple of years. It takes a while to build like a winning team.
Mhm.
So I know that we will eventually win the championship in the next couple of years. Our head coach is fantastic. So, but yeah, that was probably one of the highlights of my summer. And then I do marketing for a mini golf place, which is owned by a former Fuel player. He retired and then unretired last season. And so he came back to play. He's a father of four and he's a business owner. And he's like, what if I just come back and play hockey halfway through the
Yes.
season? So that's how I got connected with him. And so then I started working for his business. And then I do social media for two other brands. And I do the Fuel. And I'm a student. What more could you want?
You do it all,
I
truly.
do, but it's so fun. It's exhilarating. Time flies. So that's the best part.
Time really does fly. I mean, you always have had, like, so much on your plate the entirety that we've talked, but do you feel like because it's your senior year, you can have a little bit more of, like, not school-specific stuff on your plate more than other years?
Yes. Like I am involved in some clubs on campus. Like we just founded a women in sports club on campus,
Wow.
which is amazing. There's like 40 members too, which is like fantastic. But I have really tried to I also commute this year. So, like, that's the biggest part of I'm not super involved on campus life because
Mhm.
I commute 45 minutes. So it's like I am not always on campus.
Right.
But where I live now is now closer to the Fuel, which is super nice because game days I don't get back as late.
Right.
And getting there, I don't have to leave as early. And those extra 10 minutes of sleep, like it actually
It
extra 10,
matters.
20 minutes, it's it's helpful. But I just little busy bee, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I feel I am though, I don't know why, but like since you can schedule stuff for social media, like I feel like I have a lot more downtime, which has been
Yeah.
fantastic. Like school, sometimes class gets done at like 5, so then I drive home, I'm home by like 6:30. I don't do anything else that afternoon, like that evening. Like I could have worked, but like I'm like no. Let's just go relax or watch whatever game is on.
Right.
It's not hockey yet, but it will be.
Soon, very soon.
Soon.
Preseason started yesterday,
Thank goodness.
at least for us.
Thank
You
God.
guys have to wait a little bit longer.
I do have to wait.
When So I feel like folks have a general understanding of kind of like when the NHL starts.
Mhm.
What's the timeline for ECHL? Like when are guys coming back to Indy if they're not like in Indy the off season? Because we know we talked last time where
Mhm.
there were a lot of people complaining last summer that there was limited content with the players and you're like, they're not here.
Yeah, they're
What
not.
is the timeline of like when they're starting to come back, when they're on the ice, sort of thing?
So it kind of just varies every year, but
Okay.
like last year training camp and this year training camp usually starts like the first weekend of October.
Okay.
So that is when obviously all the players get into town. We have our open house today, and so our captain Chris Cameron, he lives in Michigan, so he's just going to drive down and come to the open house. He's contractually not doesn't have to do that, but he's thankfully doing it on his own free will and that he loves his team, which
Good
is
captain.
amazing. But so we don't really have any access to the guys over the off season unless they're like a Chris Cameron who's been with the team for 5 years, and if you ask him to do a video, he's pretty likely to do it. Or, Nick Grima and Jordan Martin, they've been with the team for 3 years now, so obviously they're a little more willing to do content for us over the off season. But we have a lot of new players this year. Like I would say like a pretty big shakeup. So
Mhm.
obviously it's like the fans, we're going to learn in real time about these new players as well. But training camp starts typically the first week of October. We have our media day in the first week of October as well. So that's going to be the funnest day of the year. It's hockey Christmas, really. And then we have our on ice media day coming up too. So then obviously that is when we really get the content for the hype videos and additional silly stuff, because that's why not? That's what you do for hockey
Oh
content.
yeah.
But then the season opening rosters are typically due by the middle of October, right before any preseason game really starts. And then we have actually a preseason game on, I believe, October 11th, 10th or 11th. I keep my days mixed up. I think
That's
it's
fine.
the 11th.
If it's a Saturday, it's the 11th.
Yes, Saturday, the 11th. We have a preseason game, which we haven't had a home preseason game since the 22-23 season. So it's actually been,
That's crazy. You
I
guys
know.
don't get them every year?
No, and you typically only play like one preseason game, which is the weirdest part too, because in like NHL or even AHL, they have multiple preseason games that they play. But we just have one, which is fine and all. And then the next week, regular season play starts. So it's kind of like figure your stuff out in that one game and let's get on with it. And then yeah, then the season starts, and like every other season, it's kind of like a bam. But the
Mhm.
reason why the season is a little bit staggered is because obviously you have the NHL training camp, AHL training camp,
Right.
ECHL. For obviously we get our AHL guys. I don't know who they are yet, but I'm very excited to see. I've heard some rumors, and I'm really liking those rumors. Um, we AHL guys that are contracted mainly to serve us will have their training camp and then be sent down. So that's why it's a little more staggered, which obviously can be confusing to someone just getting new into hockey. But then once you realize why it's staggered, it's like, oh, that makes sense. It's just a trickle down for those who get cut maybe from the training camp roster for the Blackhawks. They're probably contracted to Rockford. And then for the Rockford guys that maybe don't make it, they're obviously going to be sent to Indy. So it's just more training camp. Just go down the line.
More and more hockey.
More.
Poor Weeks is going to be playing training camp and training camp and training camp.
Yeah, he's like, let's just go in circles. Another one. I did you see that picture that someone tweeted of the Blackhawks training camp and everyone's like exhausted and they're just like
Yes.
laying
So
on
I
the
was
ice?
not at that one. I went to the day after. Yeah,
They look,
our new head coach is a yapper. I saw those videos
oh,
and I was like, okay, so we all really, really watched Miracle over the summer.
he got inspired.
You got inspired big time. We're throwing out the again scene and killing
You
these poor
know,
babies.
he really is, life is a movie for him. And I applaud that. I applaud that.
Yeah, I so far he's a big yapper. I went to camp yesterday and I couldn't hear anything that he was actually saying because we were just too far up.
Mhm.
But it just like the Charlie Brown parents, like it just "Bah, bah, bah," but
You
like
just knew
loud.
what
I'm
he was
like, you
speaking.
go, because we haven't had a yapper as a coach in like a hot minute.
Yeah, it
Everybody's
was
kind of just been like quiet with like 20-minute skates.
we are finally represented. Us yappers are represented on the ice.
Coach Blashill, thank you for being a certified yapper.
Thank you.
Um, Rewinding real quick, what, because you said you have the open house
Mhm.
today. What
Yes.
is that?
So, an open house is where we invite fans to come out. We'll have a fire sale with a bunch of our merch with I'm super excited to partake because I'm balling on a college student budget. I'm gonna go get some merch at a discounted rate. Our partners will be there, and usually some of them have like samplings or like prizes or stuff like that. It's a good way to interact with our partners. And then we will have a chat with our head coach, Duncan Dalmeo. Chris Cameron will be there walking around, mingling with fans. And then we will be unveiling our jerseys this year. So that is always very exciting. I really love the crest on the jersey this year, so I'm super excited for everyone else to see it. And is that all? I really don't know. There's so much to do. I think we're doing a blood drive. I think we have more fun and games. It's at the event center, so it's just a great time to just get back in, get hyped for the season, and then obviously mingle with the fans. Some of the like the key season ticket holders did go to the Freight games, so like we weren't out of touch with them throughout the whole year because we literally just saw them in July.
Right.
But for some of them, they're only fuel season ticket holders, so it's nice to get back with them or see everyone in the front office and see and chat with the head coach. Obviously, we will be chatting with him a lot this year, so it's a good way to be like, "Hi, how's your summer? Let's get to work now, should we?" And we got a new assistant coach too, so I don't know if he's gonna be there, but I'm very excited to get to know our new assistant coach.
You guys got all sorts of new people coming in.
Everyone is so new, which is it's so exciting. It's also a little nerve-wracking, but that's just hockey.
That's
Mhm.
fair. Um, and then for you said you got media stuff a little bit further in once the guys come back. Is
Yes.
that kind of more like your standard, like the hype video before the games and like videos of like those classic videos of
Mhm.
them? It's not necessarily like specific like TikTok videos that you guys do throughout the season.
Yeah, so that's kind of we have 2 of them. So we have an in-person media day with the whole team, and then that's where we actually have stations, so we'll take your headshot, we'll do some TikToks, I'm doing some player interviews, for quotes, and then just also for the broadcast, it's nice to get some preseason thoughts that I can use for basically just the month of October. And then, because since most of the guys are so new, I've never talked to these guys before, and so
Right.
obviously, like, why did you come to the Fuel? Why like, what's the vibe, really? And then we obviously that's a little more of the TikTok-y style, get the headshots done, do their little like about me thing, so we know, what snacks do you like? Where are you from? All of that jazz. I know I could find out where you're from on Elite Prospects, but like sometimes the
Who's your
guys
top
are really
artist on
picky about
Spotify?
their hometown versus their birth town, which or like where they've lived in the most. There's
Mm.
like 3 options that they put down for where they live.
Mm.
An elite prospect sometimes is wrong, so you have to double check with them. And then we'll have our on ice media day, which is only with a handful of players, and then that's where we'll film for hype video. We'll film. At that point, we should have our AHL guys there as well. So then that's more of the what you see on like the video board, and then just like also like general other hype stuff, but that one usually takes longer because it's on the ice, and then we have, I don't know how it works this year, but last year we had, a contracted team come in, so then they were doing, like, set shots, and then we, like, were kind of repping it back and forth, and we had about 8 players, go out after practice. So and then it's just go watch practice, do a little funny TikTok after practice, and then it's rinse
And
and
then we're
repeat,
ready.
and then yeah.
I'm assuming one of the questions that you're asking the players is their top artist on Spotify.
Yes, I need to know. Just in time for
Since
Spotify, what is it called? Not recap.
yeah,
Wrapped. Wrapped.
yeah, Spotify Wrapped.
Wrapped. Yes.
You
I
need to
need to know.
know since we're
Most of them is
losing
like
our Sabrina Carpenter boy.
yeah, someone needs to have, like, a fun choice. It's either, like, country or it's, like, some, like, electronic dance, like, crazy beat
Really?
music. Like, that's, like, the 2 genres that they listen to. Or, like, rap or
I
something.
believe the country because I think every video I've seen of like when they ask like your top artist or who should
Or Morgan Wallen.
what is hockey players' obsession with Morgan Wallen and Nickelback? Nickelback I
I
kinda get
know!
'cause
I
it's
just
just
don't.
giving
I
middle of
wish
nowhere Manitoba, but I'm like,
I just
I'm confused.
I know McDavid came out to a Morgan Wallen concert, so
And
I
he
guess,
looked
like
painfully awkward and uncomfortable.
so, like, I guess I just don't know. Maybe I should just corner someone. Be like, "Why?" These are the questions the people need to know.
Why Morgan Wallen?
Is
Why
that,
is
like, they
everyone
don't
love him?
they don't necessarily, like, live in the country. Like, I mean, Morgan Wallen's also, like, American country music.
Yeah.
So, like, for some of the Canadian players, I'm like, "Where where is this speaking to you?"
Is this speaking to you because it speaks to McDavid?
Yeah. I just need to know. So many questions to ask. I do, we've been, like, collecting so many videos because it's obviously nice that we're one of the later media days, so if there's, like, a trend that starts, we're technically not late to it, we just get to it right at, like, the perfect time. So I'm interested to see all of the media content. I loved what the Blackhawks did the other day with, like, "Let's get the spread," and that was absolutely hilarious.
I loved it, and I loved it even more because Alex Vlasic is
Yes.
celiac, and they had it in
Yeah,
the
the
little
little
plastic
bag.
bag. I was like, "This is perfect."
That was so funny. I was like, "The guys who actually ate the bread, like, props to you."
Yeah, then
My carb
Bedard, like, took the bread and then just threw it out, and we're all just like,
I was like, "I didn't know they had the bag in the back." I was like, "Guys, no. Make them take it on the ice. Get this bread." They probably
"Okay."
needed it that day.
Yeah, that might have been
The
the
day.
crazy day. Social media team had a heads up on what was
Yeah, they
going
need some bread.
on. Are you gonna be do you know if you're up in the booth at all or how
Yeah.
much?
All season. That's my primary role this year is back in the booth, which I'm super excited, very, very excited, to be back in the booth, and that's my main focus this year so I can spend a lot more energy and time with it. I definitely want to it was super fun last year. I felt like I got super comfortable with it towards the end of the season, which, like, is kinda how it works. Like, obviously, at the beginning of the season, I only had 6 games under my belt. So it's
Right.
not like I was like, "Oh, yeah, I'm a pro at this." But now I think I'm at, like, over 40 games? I'm close to 50. I don't think I haven't hit 50 yet, but I'm at, like, 46 or something
Are you
games.
gonna do a celebration at 50?
I think I have to. Like, Andrew, the play-by-play, he's gonna hit 300, and here I am celebrating about 50, but it's like every small win. Like, a win is a win, especially for women in the booth. Like, I don't know what 50 means to women in the ECHL. I know for the Fuel, that will obviously be the longest, but obviously around I know we have Fiona and Fiona from Fort Wayne, and there was, a girl from Toledo as well. So the Central Division has had probably the most female power, but it's just I will get myself a little cake, should blow out candle, a puck drop, and then Andrew's, like, looking over at me, about to reach 300, and I'm just like, "Well, you're much
Then just
older
bring him
than
a
me,
cake for
Andrew."
300.
Hmm?
Just bring him a cake for 300.
I know,
Like, have cake for both.
I decorated the booth for 250, and I thought, wow. he's like the best mentor ever. And to think that I was there for his 250th game and gonna be his 300, I'm like, wow. Time, and that makes time fly because I'm like, we've done 50 extra games together. Then I'm like, wow, then I've hit 50 because I was there for 250 and 300, and put it in between.
You'll be over 50 by that point.
I will. I need to do some stats. I will say though, my win-lose record is not looking great. So we're not going to talk about that. Everyone in the office makes fun of me. Because there was, I think, 3 games that I missed either because I was like sick or I had something else going on, and I think they won all 3 of those. So not going to say what I think happens, but they knew I wasn't in the booth and they're like, okay, well now we got to like
we actually have to play.
we actually have to
win. Speaking more of this season, is there any like particular specialty night or like events that you guys are doing going into this season that you're really excited for?
Yes, I love
that you can share.
Yes, our promo schedule is out, thankfully, so it's not like I am sharing anything super crazy, but I do very much we have a Snoopy night again coming up, which for those who know, I love Snoopy so dearly. Someone custom made us, he's over there, a custom Indy Fuel crocheted Snoopy with an Indy Fuel jersey on. Which, like, okay,
that's
wait,
insane.
Okay, now I have to go grab him, actually. Actually, I have to go grab him because y'all need to see this.
Well, now we get to see, for those that are watching and not listening. Oh, perfect. It's right there. I thought I was going to have to flip.
No, don't worry.
He's so cute.
He's right here. Yeah, so shout out Jasmine. I saw that she made a NHL, she made a Snoopy for Flower. And I was like, hey, what's the chances that we can collab? And we send you a swag box for this Snoopy. And she said yes. And I am the rightful owner of it. I will not be letting anyone else.
No.
But Snoopy does have a winning record. So Snoopy is like 5-2, which is actually pretty good. So
that's very good.
Yeah. So
you
other
have
than
to bring Snoopy to every game.
I know, but then I don't want to select to wear out. But thank you, Snoopy. Other than Peanuts Night, which is obviously one of my favorites, we have a new true crime night, which we're gonna have some clues, some fun giveaways. We're gonna do almost like a little, not like murder mystery, but like someone committed a crime. You have to help us solve it. So we played the Bloomington Bison that day. So obviously, since we're kind of sister teams, we can play off of they committed a crime. Well, oops. And then our Jurassic Puck night was so popular last year, so we brought it back, which I'm super hyped about that one.
Good.
Along with the staples like Wizard Night, Star Wars Night, those are just staples in the hockey world. But I am super duper excited about, obviously, International Women's Night.
Yes.
We have Margaritaville Racing Night, and we have some fun Jersey nights as well this year. Like Margarita Nights of Jersey, Valentine's Day, DC Hockey Fights Cancer, October, Racers Night, which is a play from the Indianapolis Racers, which were a popular team here that Wayne Gretzky played on. So shout out him. And then Peanuts Night is a jersey, so shout out Snoopy. But then we are doing this fun thing this year. I think voting may be over, but we did a fan choice. So we gave fans 4 options for a theme night and a specialty jersey, and then they got to pick which night they wanted.
What were the options?
The options were like Alien Invasion, Country Western, Nitro's Birthday Bash, and one other, but I forget that one.
Oh, I feel like Nitro should have a birthday party. Like,
I think that one
an option.
I think it did. Which he deserves it,
Yes.
He deserves a party with all of his favorite friends. And then we all get cake and we all live happily ever after.
I love that.
Mhm.
No, I think all mascots need a birthday party.
I agree.
I love when Tommy Hawk has his birthday party.
That
It's
is
insane. There's
I know,
far too
and
many kids at the game for my liking,
that
but I
is
love
so
it
true.
for Tommy.
I love the idea of it, but all of the children, maybe not so
Just
much.
a little much.
I am
Just a little.
excited about our, Education Day game last year. Did you hear how it went last year?
No?
Oh my goodness, what a fun story! So, the Zamboni broke down after warm-ups on the ice, and so it created a chunk, like a gash in the ice, and so for mind you, we have 7,000 kids in the building, okay? So keep that in the back of your mind. They go try and fix it. There's, like, multiple holes. There's, like, 3 holes, but there's, like, one, like,
Massive one.
on the blue line, basically right in almost, like, right directly, like, where the goal is. So, like, the goal is here, there's, like, a gash here. So, like, it's kinda a necessary place that you play.
Right.
Um, they spend probably an hour and a half trying to decide if the ice is playable or not. The players come out, they look at it, the coaches come out, the refs come out, everyone's looking, they're talking, debating. They go back in the locker room, they come back out, they're talking, debating. They go back to the locker room, they come back out, they're doing warm ups. We think it's going to happen. No, we have 7,000 kids here. We are like blaring some random, like fun kid music, trying to hype them up. And after like an hour and a half of basically just looking at this hole, they're like, you can't, we're not going to play on it.
Mm,
Mhm. And also, like, it's like a 10:30 start game, so obviously we had to wake up,
right.
like, early
Extra
for this.
early.
And then that
Nothing.
was, like, really fun. Like, obviously props to our team, like, we were able like, the kids had a blast because like, we were just playing, like we did a Rizzler cam, we did, like, some whatever other music they're into and other weird memes, some
Mhm.
brain rot stuff. They had a blast. But obviously, when you take 7,000 kids and then you don't actually play the game.
It's yeah.
Yeah, so I'm really excited for Education Day this year.
Were they able to, no, because you can't move it, the schedule's set.
So
Like,
they
were you
no, they moved and this also happened in February,
oh,
and we were in our like, since we had all those road games at the start of the season, we were at our back end of our home schedule. So
right.
in March, thinking about last March makes me wanna, like, scream. We had, like, 4 games a week. We had a 3-and-3 every weekend, a home 3-and-3 every weekend. And then we had some sprinkle in some Wednesday games, home or away. So we had, like, 4 games a week. There's nowhere you could put this game. And then you get into April, and the regular season ends April 13th. So we had to shove this game on some random Wednesday, sandwiched between a 3-and-3. Both parties were not happy.
No.
No one is. But we thankfully got the game done. But it was like it also ironically, we played the Bloomington Bison. Earlier in the season, the Bloomington Bison also had ice problems when we were there and deemed the game unplayable. And so then that game had to get rescheduled, and then that game had to get rescheduled. And so it was just like a jumbled a jumbled unnecessary mess. I obviously felt bad for those children, so I really hope this year
That
but
they
the
get to
hole on the
watch.
ice went to the concrete, so, like, obviously you can't like,
Yeah.
someone could hurt break a leg, really.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's just a fun little education day game. Every time I think about it, I'm like, there's a picture of me, I took, like, a selfie because I was dancing because we were playing, like, Shake It Off, I was like, "Imma dance." And then, like, Andrew's, like, sitting there, like, we're trying to get more information, and then I get a couple texts, like, I'm like, "You know what? I'm just gonna text one of my insiders from the locker room." Because like, if they're back in the locker room, 90% of the time, they're on their phone. And
Right.
so I'm, like, texting them, I'm like, "Do you get this message? Are you on your phone? What do you know?" Then I get some, like, weird cryptic message back, and I'm like, "Oh, yeah." Like, the game wasn't called yet, but I'm like, "If you're texting me, you're not you're not playing."
Yeah.
Like, if you said that you're about to go take a shower, you're not playing.
Yep.
So I'm like but then we still, like it took them, like, an hour and a half to decide. I'm like, "Can we, like does this have to go on?"
I wanna go home.
Yeah, I think we, went to Shake Shack afterwards because we're like, "Wow,
What
I'm
a
not going to class after this." I was like,
no,
"No."
no, I'm gonna
Yeah,
go eat, I'm
fun
gonna go
little
stare at a
Indy
wall and
Fuel.
disassociate.
Yes, literally, I think I, like, got home and I was like, what did I just do?" I went I didn't do a game, but, like, I felt like I did, but I didn't.
Right.
So weird.
I feel like that's even worse.
Mhm.
Granted, I have not been in a box, but I feel like getting your 'cause I feel like there's, like, an element of, like, having to,
Yeah.
like, get yourself psyched up
We
to do
literally
it,
also did,
and
like
then
we did the
nothing.
introductions. So we did all this. They were literally about to face off. Like, literally, like, about to drop the puck. That's how much it wasn't like, "Oh, we do warm-ups, we zam it, we're done." It's like, we did the intros, like, we did all of the hype building, and then, like, we're about to drop the puck, and they're like, "What is that? What what is that?" Yeah.
Oh my god.
I
Oh
like
my
to rewatch it sometime because it's, like, the funniest stream ever. Because Andrew and I are just like, "Well, we don't really know what's going on." So funny. We swapped coaches interviews with Bloomington. Like, we're like,
What do we do?
what do we talk about?" Like, I prepared for there to be movement.
Crazy times. Well, hopefully this does not
Yeah,
happen to you
fingers crossed,
guys
knock on
this year.
wood.
Um, Jumping over away
Yes,
from hockey, but keeping in Indy,
yes.
um, because I know I'm a motorsports girly and you like
I
motorsports.
do
So
love
we've got to talk about IndyCar for a
we
little bit.
do.
First off, what was your journey into IndyCar? Have you been a fan? Is it like a proximity, like being in Indianapolis, everyone kind of just like gets absorbed into the IndyCar bubble? What's your
It's
story?
it's kind of a funny story. So I always kind of knew about only the Indy 500 growing up. My best friend, my childhood best friend, her dad would and family would watch the Indy 500 every Memorial Day weekend. And I would always go over and play at their house and I would notice that it was on the TV, but it really wouldn't click with me. My
Right.
family was more of the baseball and college basketball kind of family, so
Yeah.
IndyCar wasn't just in hockey obviously because my part of my family's from Canada. So like that was IndyCar wasn't really what we got into. But then I went to Butler and I met my now boyfriend of 3 years, and he is enamored with IndyCar. He's been going to the Indy 500 since he was little. He has been to so many different races, so has like just and he watches IndyCar all the time. And so I literally distinctly remember telling him it's just cars going in a circle. Like I'm like, it's just cars going in a circle. Like it's not a big deal. And I vividly remember that. And then it was the Texas race in 2023. I had the most massive migraine in the world. Like we were getting me a Diet Coke to help cure me, and I threw up in the McDonald's parking lot. Whole big ordeal. Like this is
Oh,
crazy. Migraine. We go watch the race at his dad's house, and I got so locked into it that my migraine went away. So now I'm like, oh, I think I'm a little invested. And our good friend David Malukas got third in that race. So I'm like, oh, like he said something funny in the interview. Like the interviewer asked, what's one word to describe this weekend? And he said, beautiful chaos. That's 2 words, David. And so then that always stuck with me of like, oh, like, that was funny. And so then he was like, my boyfriend Drew was like, you should pick a driver. And my favorite number is 26. I was born on February 26th. So I was like, oh, the number 26 Gamebridge Honda. This guy looks like a nice guy. And so I picked Colton Herta as my driver. And that has brought me some ups and some downs. Right now I'm at a down, but it's brought me some ups and some downs. And then I've been to his family has I don't know if you know how the Indy 500 seating works, but like you have to like put your name in for such a long time, and then if you like your name almost builds credit, and then the more years that you go and buy tickets, the better seats that you can get over years. So his family has had these seats um for decades, really, like for so long, and they're right on the front stretch. And it's like a group, like a 15, 12 block seats of them. So now I've been going with his family for 3 years, and I am so invested, to the point now where I invite IndyCar drivers to Fuel games. So one, I can do content with them, and two, it's like a small world. It's so fun. So it's definitely grown over time. I am like now super duper duper invested. Um, I have, fortunately, through the Fuel, I got to film lots of content with David Malukas, and I visited him again at the last autograph session before the 500, and I made like a meme card for him, and then it made his Instagram account twice or like 3 times. So I'm like,
Very
wow, my editing skills. Shout out. Marcus Erickson, he used to be a goaltender. He actually just buys tickets to Fuel games. Like he's been in like some suite, like I look over at our suite boxes and I'm like, wow, he's just sitting right there. So like that's been super cool. Like just the interaction of, obviously he's a goaltender. And so he loves the Fuel and loves watching hockey. But yeah, I'm now super obsessed with IndyCar. I am selecting a new driver, since Herta is leaving. And I love David, but I think I am gonna go with Alex Palou because not because he wins, but because he's just his daughter is so precious. And he's just like, I can't hate him. Like he wins, and I'm like, I can't hate the guy. Like there
Yeah.
are some drivers I dislike, and some I love more than others. And also with Birdies, the mini golf place, we sponsor Ed Carpenter Racing. So it truly is a small world. It's
They're all
just
there.
IndyCar now has become a huge part of my life. It's like hockey, IndyCar.
Well, and it's great too because I feel like the hockey and motorsports in general, no matter like which series you watch,
Mm-hmm.
it's on the flip. So you
Yes.
always have something to watch year round. It's kind
Yes.
of like hockey fans that watch baseball.
Yes. I love watching baseball. It's nice. I've got something all year round. And now I'm into football. So now I'm invested. I joined a fantasy team, and that's the only why I got invested.
Heck yes. Um yeah, so for me with IndyCar, it's new. It's very new.
Mhm.
Because I was very much one of the Drive to Survive, getting into Formula One first and then getting in to IndyCar. But then I went to my first IndyCar race last month, the Milwaukee one where Rasmussen won, which I
Yeah.
was like chaos. I was
Came out of
expecting
nowhere. It was
Hello to
insane.
win. Um, and similar to you, I will have to pick another driver because Colton Herta is leaving,
It's fine.
which is just very
It's bittersweet. Like, I'm happy for him, but
I'm happy for him, but I'm concerned
I don't.
in terms of like this is a big jump. You were the highest paid driver in IndyCar, and now you are going to be battling children, you know,
Literally children. Like, he also, like, he's not a fan of, like, media training. He just, like, says what he wants.
which
Like,
is why I was like, that's my favorite driver.
yeah, like,
This
that
man has
quote
no
that he's like,
filter.
"I'm just gonna have to bring a gun here and shoot someone to, like, get attention." That was so funny. And then, like, over in F1, like, it's, like, strict, like, what you can say and, like, what like, you can get penalized for what you say on the radio.
You can
Obviously, you can in IndyCar to a certain degree, but I know
Mhm.
F1 is a little more strict on that end.
They're super strict, but I also feel like there's certain teams that are stricter than others. Like there's the general, like you can't swear, otherwise the FIA is going to dock you an insane amount of money.
Mhm.
But I feel like there's even more strictness with like the top tier teams like Ferrari,
Yes.
McLaren, and Red
Mhm.
Bull versus like mid grid, bottom of the grid. It's like, yeah, you
Yeah,
can say some weird things and probably
mhm.
get away with it.
But it's definitely, like, I'm sure experience and watch it, it's like a thrill. Like, I mean, obviously last year Alex Palou had an insane dominant season, which was just also really cool to watch. Like, I know some people online were like, I'm tired of him winning. Well, my first year, that was Joseph Newgarden. I was like, could Joseph Newgarden like not win another race? And I've only been to 3 Indy 500s. My first two, I saw Joseph Newgarden win, and so then this year I was like, can I have someone else?
Someone
Like,
else.
and then the Penske luck this year was like absolutely terrible. Um, David almost won the 500, which I think he'll get it.
David almost won Milwaukee. If he didn't have that horrific pit stop.
Yeah, his sometimes his strategy can absolutely ruin him.
Yeah,
But I also think, he's super strong on ovals, so I really think that this year he'll get his first win, and
he
I
needs to. This kid needs to.
yes, and I would love to see it in person, especially if it's at the 500.
Um, yeah, I dragged my dad to go because
As
I
you
didn't,
should.
and as I should.
Mhm.
My dad does not watch any sort of motorsports whatsoever. Like he will suffer through an F1 qualifying during draft weekend when I'm home for the weekend, but like
Yeah.
that is it. This man found out that David Malukas was from Chicago.
He's
Game
like, "Yeah, that's
changer.
my man."
He is yelling 312 Southside literally anytime Malukas gets
It is
mentioned.
so
Like,
funny.
this is my guy. This is my guy. He's from Chicago. And I'm like, yeah,
You're
you
like, "Yep,
go. You
yep."
go.
Mhm. It's really fun too because most of the drivers do live in the Indy area, like Carmel or Zionsville or Westfield,
Mhm.
Fishers, some downtown Indy as well, just because of the nature of most of the headquarters are around here,
Right.
or just because it is Indy. Like they just, I mean, live here. So it's also like super neat because you see them like going to, like you see pictures online. They're like, oh, like he was at this ice cream shop today, and I literally could have gone. So it's almost like it's like fun because they're like part of the community, especially for like field games as well. Like
They're
um,
already there.
they're already there. It's hopefully we can get a couple to the games. We have our unfortunately our racing night is always it's in partnership with IMS and they want it closer to like in the spring. But obviously in the spring that's when drivers are like
Yeah.
unavailable because
They're
they've got
already
races and
starting to
stuff.
raid. Yeah.
But we have an indie sports night and that's in November and I'm like, "Ugh, it's peak off season. So if they're not on vacation, they're probably here." And I'm
Yeah.
like, let's
Bring them.
let's get you over here, put you in a field jersey. Let's put you out on ice. Let's go. I know.
Marcus Erickson can already skate, so you're fine.
I know. So we're great. He's already halfway there.
Well, and I know this is differently, but you've got Cadillac also over there, which is
Mhm.
also why I kind of figured that Colton Herta was going to get linked to Cadillac at a point because I'm like, the man's already there.
Yes.
But you've got Cadillac coming, which
Mhm.
is over in Fishers, and you've got a hockey guy as one of the drivers too. So
It's just perfect timing.
maybe you can go jump
Just
to a different series to grab.
hey,
Be like, hey Valtteri,
it's
you
gonna
wanna
pull you in
skate?
here. Yeah. Just gonna need I just need everyone to come out to the field game really. Like, and it's a fun time. Like, I mean, Erickson, I know the he bought tickets to our playoff game, not this season, but last season, and we
Mhm.
got whooped. I think it was like 7-2. And he was there, he was having a ball, and I'm like, you know what? See, like he just appreciates hockey, and like I love that. I think I think the game we went to last year we didn't win either, or maybe we did. I don't
Maybe he
know.
was the guy
Last
left
season was
drive.
tumultuous, but I'm excited for this one.
I feel like there's as someone who is, a diehard fan of one team, it is refreshing to watch games where it's like, I don't need to pull my hair out. I don't need to be stressed. Like,
Mhm.
I don't have, maybe I lean more towards one side, but I don't have a diehard allegiance to one or the other. And I can just watch 60 minutes of hockey.
It is like it is nice To an extent, because then you're like, "Well, then I also know that player, and that player came from here, and I really don't like, that player's teammate," and then I don't the
That
lore, and
means
you're
the
like,
entirety of playoffs.
"Correct." And now I'm like, "I was a really big fan of Mitch Marner, and I'm really not a great fan of Vegas."
I was gonna ask, how are you doing?
You know what? I got on a plane for a family vacation to Vegas the day after that news was announced, and so I was just looking at T-Mobile Arena, like, it was kind of evil. But he was also there at the same time, so I'm like, "What if I just" I wore blue outfits purposely on the off chance that I did run into him and be like, "What I'm wearing." Obviously, all of, like, what happened and all the hate that he was getting, like, I just think I love the Maple Leafs to death. Obviously, that's just the team I was bestowed upon, with,
Right,
family and
with
stuff.
family.
But I do think that the fan base has kind of lost the plot a little bit, which is really saddening to hear. Like, we're losing generational players because we don't know how to act. And obviously, from even like a field perspective, like, we have lost players before because our fans don't know how to act, or the players don't know how to act. And so I just really think that the parasocial relationship sometimes between players and fans, like, we shouldn't be doxing people. Like, and it's also like the playoffs. Like, it's hard. I don't want to be like, you go and try and play in the playoffs. And like Florida
Right.
was genuinely like just a really strong team. And like the Leafs, obviously we got to a game 7. And should we have really gotten to that point? No, I think there are things we could have done earlier, but at the same time, like, these are professional athletes. Like, also, like, I watched the NBA finals and like Tyrese Halliburton obviously tore his Achilles or whatever, like on the court in game 7. Could we have won that? Yes. Were people doxing him because that? No. So it's just like the differencing of fan bases. I love the Leafs, but I've had to step back from watching them a bit because the fans are truly another beast. And yeah.
Yeah. It was a lot, and because I remember when I seeing, like, the first clip bits of Marner's interview about
Mhm.
the whole situation, and one, yes, I do believe that there needs to be a larger conversation about parasocial relationships, between fans and players no matter what the sport is,
Mhm.
um but it was also, like, the way that the Toronto media and, like,
Yes.
Toronto, like, podcast affiliates spun it to
Yeah,
make him
that
out
too.
to be, like,
A villain,
like,
really.
I forget who it was, but they were like, "Well, this never happened to Martin." Like, Marner's claiming all these things. Willie Nylander takes public transit to go to games. So,
Like, that was also
obviously
2 different situations, like, there was 2 different times of when the hockey was playing.
right.
Like, the playoffs are heightened emotions, everything, like, I just wanna shake Leafs fans and be like, "Do you not think they wanna win?" Like, obviously they wanna win. Like, they know that we've had a drought, they know, like, just be nice. If you're nicer, then maybe it will put less pressure on them, and then they'll just play having fun. I think sometimes I it makes me sad because some it just doesn't seem like some athletes play for fun anymore. They only play like only for the paycheck or only pay because of the pressure that they have. Like they love this sport, but I think sometimes they're just conditioned to almost be like a robot and just play for the money and for the pressure. They're not playing because they genuinely enjoy it. And like you can tell when teams are genuinely having fun. Like the Panthers, I mean, like them or not, at the end of the playoffs,
They're
they were
having fun.
genuinely having fun, and I remember when the Florida Everblades came to visit the Fuel and whooped us, um, but the
Don't they
locker
whoop
room was
everybody,
so
though?
positive. Like, they just were having fun, and winning breeds winning, and so if you have a winning mentality in the locker room or winning mentality of the fan base, it's gonna translate over. And so, I'm sure, like, with the Blackhawks too, like, there's a lot of pressure on them, but, like, you just gotta they're real people too!
Well, getting back to Florida really quick with Toronto, I feel like Toronto and Tampa too kind of get put
Mhm.
into the same sort of like conversation. They just have the misfortune of running into the Panthers so early in the postseason.
Yes.
It shouldn't like the Tampa Bay Lightning are better than a first round exit. They just unfortunately have to
Have
play
to
Florida
play. Yep.
Panthers in
Mhm.
the first round. That Toronto Florida matchup could easily have been the Eastern Conference Finals.
Easily.
Easily.
They played like it was.
And it's not like I'm I definitely have partaken in some fun chirping against the Toronto Maple Leafs, as every other
As everyone
team that
does.
isn't Toronto does. But it's like sometimes they just run into these good teams way too early into the postseason,
Or even, like,
and
the
somebody
Bruins a
has
couple
to
years
get
ago.
eliminated.
Yes, like, it's just and I think of that of both sides of the bracket too, but I really just think there's more focus on the Eastern side, than the Western Conference, and so, I mean, even when you think of, just some other teams that have had some, like, generational, like, runs, like, the Avalanche a couple years ago, or even then the Tampa when they were winning all the time, like, they just had other teams just had the misfortune of playing them, and it's like, when you looked at the Leafs and Tampa, I felt like they were always paired together, and then Tampa would always win because obviously they would go on and win the cup or
Right.
whatnot, and it's like, it wasn't that the Leafs were a bad team, it's just sometimes other teams are better, and it's just like it's also you gotta look at injuries, and there's just so much that I've learned from being at an organization that goes into, like, our fans truly did not know how many injuries we had at the beginning of the year or how many players were playing with bone bruises in the playoffs, like, you should not be playing with bone bruising, but they are because we're a man down and we can't
Or
afford.
how many of your guys got called up? I feel like
Oh
out of
my
8,
gosh.
half of Rockford where it was on the Indy Fuel.
Yes, and then, like, right before playoffs, it was like, "Shoop, goodbye," and, like, Kyle Maximovich got pulled up right before playoffs, and then we never I mean, obviously, it was only 4 games, but we never saw him again, and it was just like, did he play a single game for Rockford? No, but, like, still, like, you don't like, Rockford has their agenda, and unfortunately, that's just like, they have the priority because they are, like, it's the latter team,
Yeah.
so I just think holistically, sometimes hockey fans need to look at it, like step back and be like, okay, why is this so? Like, is my team genuinely awful or are injuries a part of it? Did someone get like a mentality? It's a long season. Did Rockford call up all the guys? I just think there's things we can't say on air, but like we know.
Yeah.
And it's just
I
like you wish.
I definitely agree with that, especially with right now, a lot of, Chicago fans really have to hear about it from like San Jose Sharks fans and the media of spinning that Macklin Celebrini is somehow better than Connor Bedard. Love them both. I saw Macklin Celebrini when he was playing for the Steel as like a high schooler. Love
Mhm.
them both. Connor Bedard's first year, he was carrying a beer league hockey team because 50% of our roster was on injuries.
Correct.
Celebrini came in and already had his best friend from Boston College playing
Like
with him. Like,
and you could tell the emotional impact that that had, like, you look at Bedard and he looks like he wanted to, like, I'm sorry, legit die. Like, he would score
yeah,
a
I
goal
saw
and
the
he'd be
TikTok
like
edits.
he'd score a goal and he'd act like he just looked so, like, sad. And, like, Celebrini's having a ball. Like, you can see he's laughing. Like, it's just the culture, and you just don't know what's going on.
I think also, just like humans, because hockey players are humans, as
Mhm,
some people
mhm.
like to forget, um, everybody's going to like show their emotions differently because people asked Bedard about that and he's like, I don't know, this is just me. That's
It's
just
just
my
yeah,
face. I make different faces every day. Like he's just more of a
internal, like, he's
internal
mhm.
person. And while probably sometimes while we were getting like killed 6-2, it was pretty miserable for him. But there was definitely moments where it wasn't as bad as everybody likes to kind of curate that perfect
Mhm.
TikTok edit to make him look miserable and Celebrini look happy.
It's just and also, I mean, even in the ECHL too, like, we know that, some teams pay under the table, like, that's just, like, how it is, like, you just know that that's happening, and, like, if our fans are like, "Well, why didn't you get bigger? Why did you let this guy go?" Or, "Why did this guy sign somewhere else?" Or even, like, guys signing overseas, like, do you not realize, like, the guys who go overseas, 1, they get to live in Europe. 2, I don't think it's taxed, I don't think their money is taxed over there. 3, teams pay for their travel where they go. I mean, who wouldn't wanna play a year in Europe when you make more money and you get to live in Europe? So, I
Also,
can't
especially if they're from Europe, like,
yeah,
at
like,
some point, you wanna go home for a bit.
I can't make this guy stay, like, what? You're gonna he Germany or Indiana? I'm sorry, but, like, even I would be like, "Just saying." God, you just gotta love there's so much about hockey that we probably could go on a 2-hour rant about, but we did a little bit, and that's not a crime.
We love a tiny little rant.
But it's important. It's an important conversation that not many people are bringing up, and I
No, and I
we
feel like a
gotta
lot of
do
people are
that.
kind of just sweeping like, more normalizing
Yeah,
some
it's
of this
the
just
hockey
weird
you know,
behavior.
I'm not gonna talk about some other issues in hockey that I could go on a true 4-hour rant about, but
Yes.
we know what we know.
Yes.
Um, so frustrated with that, but I digress. We're gonna keep this episode light and happy.
Very happy.
Maybe we'll have to do another, like, everything that we j like, women
What
in
would you change
what would
in
you
hockey
change?
and culture?
Yaps for another time.
Yaps for another time. Really, what I think you need to go to this year, even though you have too much on your plate, is because I went to my first PWHL game this year,
I wanna go
and
to one
Eva, you need to
so
go.
bad. I wanna go so bad, it's not even funny.
It is the funnest environment. Like, it's just the lightest environment that you could imagine.
It's so happy,
Yes.
and, like, I love women, like, I wanna go so bad. I need to go. I need to go. They don't have their schedule out yet, right? I don't think so.
No.
Their schedule starts a little later.
They start with oh, I don't know how they're gonna start because Olympics. And, like, most of
Oh,
them
yeah.
are gonna be on Team USA and Team Canada, or
That's
at
the thing, like,
least
you gotta think also from, like, an NHL perspective, guys, like, what if some of these guys are gone, like, then it's more call-ups.
well, we just don't play for 2 weeks.
That's true.
NHL's on a gap, which is why I will be watching every other league. Shout out to my Flow Hockey
When is the
subscription.
gap at? Is it, like
Mid-February.
okay, that's good. I thought they didn't do a gap. I know we don't do a gap, so maybe
No,
we'll get guys
they'll
sent
do
down.
they do a massive gap.
Maybe we'll get guys sent down.
Oh, probably because 'cause they'll
You can't
send
play for 2 weeks, you gotta play.
well, they'll send guys down to Rockford, especially because we have like, some
Yeah,
of our, like, younger star players don't necessarily have
that
a
may be the
country to play
best
for, so they will get sent down.
that could be the best 2 weeks of my life.
So you'll get some new people.
If we get heavily, like, rostered up, that's like go on an insane, like, 2-week run, and then everyone comes back and it's like, "Oh."
Never mind.
"Oh, fancy seeing you here," like, "Ooh." That would be really fun, though. Now I can hope. Now I need to look at who we could potentially play, and I hope it's, like, a team that
That you guys can go on a 2-week heater for.
yeah, it's probably gonna just be, like, the Fort Wayne Comets, and they're gonna get, like, everyone from Bakersfield. It's fine. It's fine. Gotta love rivals. It's fine. All is well. All is well.
All is well in Indy. Well, Eva, thank you so much for coming on and yapping
Yeah,
with
thank
me.
you for letting me yap and just going on tangents.
That's
Thank
what
you.
this show is for.
Hockey Princess Yapping Podcast.
That's truly the purpose of podcasts,
It
is
is,
to yap.
and it's not a crime.
So, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank
We
you.
always love to have you on. Good luck. We'll chat,
Yeah,
but good
trust.
luck with the beginning of the season. and your senior year.
Thank you. Yes, I will keep you all updated. Hopefully, one day we'll be doing this and I'm with the Blackhawks. Who knows?
Yeah, we're manifesting it for you.
We are manifesting NHL.
All right.
Okay.
All right, folks, that is all, and we'll talk to you guys next week.